Emotional disturbance is a disability that affects a small number of students, but one that can have a large impact in the classroom. Emotional disturbance can be identified by the students having what we would call tantrums. They have an inability to learn or to create social bonds for reasons that cannot necessarily be medically explained. Having worked with a student with an emotional disturbance, this came from early in their life, having had a very significant trauma in their young childhood. And because of that trauma, they had an inability to attach themselves to anybody else, and would often prefer to be alone. Signs of a student with emotional disturbance can be selective mutism. They would only speak to certain people, violent outbursts inside and outside of the classroom, and to themselves or to others. In an agriculture education setting, it would be difficult to have a student with emotional disturbance. Having worked with them in a social setting, I know how difficult it can be, but yet to have a student with emotional disturbance in my classroom, but having worked with one, I can only imagine the difficulty that could ensue. I think it's really important when you have a student with emotional disturbance to have a very set structure of rules with defined consequences, but it's also very important to reinforce positive behavior with positive praise and really make sure that every time they're doing something right, that you're telling them good job, you're there praising them, maybe even set up a reward system. For every day they're good, they get a sticker on a board, and after so many days, they get some kind of special treat, or some kind of reward system, whatever their currency is, whatever that child is willing to work for. With emotional disturbance, I think it's in the classroom, it's really important to have a really good communication set with a special education teacher and the parents to understand where the child's coming from, especially in a hands-on class. I think it's really important that the parent knows what's going on, knows what your set of rules is, and that you're enforcing also what the parent has said at home, so that there is no change in rules or structure as the child leaves from home to school and from school to home. Working in ag, though, with some animal therapy, I think is great for emotionally disturbed kids, especially have like small animals like rabbits, chickens. If their treat is getting to work with those animals and that really works for them, that would be a great way to get some currency exchange with them. They can earn, the ability to, be able to pet a rabbit during class or whatever. But the biggest thing with emotionally disturbed children in the classroom is to have a very strong set structure of rules, consequences, and to give lots of positive praise.